The top story this evening, government officials have said that Ford's decision to wind down manufacturing in India is related to its own operational issues and does not in any way reflect the business environment in India. Yesterday, the American company, one of the first car makers to enter the country post the 1991 economic liberalization, announced its decision to pull out of India. Ford said that it has not been able to reap the benefits of its investments in the country. Government officials have said that Ford's exit could be attributed to a combination of factors, including competition from Japanese and Korean car makers and operational losses. But in no way does it reflect the story of the Indian auto sector. But Ford dealers have already started feeling the heat. They claim that customers have cancelled at least 35% of Ford deliveries scheduled for today. Deliveries of close to 350 vehicles may have been impacted. And since dealers have already paid RTO taxes in bulk, customers refusing to take delivery would result in financial losses for them. Meanwhile, Ford, we learn, is signing non-disclosure agreements with all dealers before starting talks on compensation and future operations. And staying with the auto sector's wholesale numbers in August, they also highlight the pain across the industry. Total sales declined by 11% as compared to last year, standing at 15.8 lakh units in August versus 17.9 lakh units in the same month last year. Industry body SIAM says the fall is largely due to the global semiconductor shortage that has weighed down production. Let's go across to our guests. We've got Vinkesh Gulati, the president of the Federation of Automobile Dealers, joining us. Also Rahul Mishra, partner automotive at Carney, India. Mr. Gulati, just to get you in, it's Ganesh Chaturthi today. How have Ford dealers been impacted?
Thanks, Parikshit. But it's really a grave situation today. So Ford has just announced this exit a day back, and all the vehicles which were registered or are in the process of getting only the final numbers were to get the customers were coming in to take the deliveries today, and it's a real at the Ford dealership because most of the customers are wanting to wait, and there are some around 35% customers who are refusing to take deliveries on the fear of what will happen about their vehicle when they will want to sell it or about the service. The kind of message Ford has put in that they'll be there for the service is not the customers are not very confident on that, and buying a vehicle from their hard-earned money and after 3 years or 5 years there is no resale, that's their biggest worry. So as of now, the dealers are facing a lot of frustration at their counters today.
Right. How many deliveries have been cancelled as a result?
So that's approximately 300 to 350 cancellations, which has already been achieved by the dealers. The dealers are trying to anyhow manage to motivate customers to take the delivery on the different issues and trying to still push, but it looks hard for them.
It's looking hard. Rahul, to get you in, we are looking at SIAM wholesale dispatches. SIAM has been saying that the automotive industry is nowhere near the growth figures of 16-17 when it comes to passenger car makers, or 2011 when it comes to two-wheeler manufacturers. They've been speaking about a structural slowdown in the Indian auto sector. Do you think Ford's exit has something to do with the environment in India, what the auto industry in general has been going through, or there are some particular reasons with American companies?
Hi, good evening, Parikshit. And to your question, Parikshit, whether this is the Ford exit right now and the earlier departures that have happened, my view is we need to look at these probably separately from the structural issues that are there in the automotive industry right now. I think the departures that have happened so far and even in this case are driven either by internal reasons, wherein at a corporate level, globally, the firm, the automotive car maker had a focus on restructuring, prioritizing certain geographies, deprioritizing markets like India, and that led to some departures in the past. There have also been, the second reason has been, which is more market driven. While India clearly is a large market, large growth expectations, I think the complexity is still there. There is a need to have a very market-specific strategy for any of the international OEMs who enter India. And my view is a lot of the global template in terms of product platforms, the sales and marketing approach, the go-to-market to customers may not really be as effective. If you see the customers right now, they're fairly evolved, fairly value conscious, and the choices available to them in terms of value for money are quite a bit. And therefore, if someone really needs to win in a market like India, it requires a market-specific value proposition, having a compelling product, a differentiated customer experience, and reliable after-sales support that would be there. And I think these are probably more the reasons why the departures have happened.
Right. Rahul, also an industry veteran told me a little while back on the condition of anonymity that the reason why companies like Maruti Suzuki or a Kia or a Hyundai have been very successful is because the Japanese and the Koreans have centered decision-making in India. Yes, they may be controlled by their headquarters in South Korea or Japan, but day-to-day decision-making is very much here in India. But when it comes to American car makers or other automobile majors, most of the decision-making lies with their headquarters in the United States or routed through other countries, and somehow that slows down decision-making vis-a-vis the India market. Do you think that could also be a major reason why American companies have not been able to really take off in India?
That does play a significant role, Parikshit, in my view, because having the leadership in India ensures that there is a market-specific focus. The decisions are there to make sure what's there for the best interest for the Indian market, whereas a global leadership with the decisions trickling down probably in a delayed manner, or the priority for India market getting diffused amongst the priority for other global markets, that does play an important role in terms of how the long-term prospects shape up.
Right. We've run out of time, but thank you very much to Mr. Vinkesh Gulati and Mr. Rahul Mishra, partner automotive at Kearney India, for joining us and sharing their perspective. Of course, this is a story that we'll continue to discuss over the next few days.